Are, are we wrong about the Steam frame? Were we wrong in what we first thought about the Steam frame is now possibly something else? Something has changed potentially? Or were we correct in the first place? So, I've seen a lot of people at the moment putting out videos that suggest that there were a few people who were wrong about Steam Frame or the Valve Index 2. I'm still calling it Steam Frame at the moment until we know what's going on. But I think potentially I might have been slightly wrong about the name, but I think everything else we were pretty spot on about. The name, from what I gather, the Steam Frame is going to be the console. And that is going to be released. That's basically a set-top box that goes underneath your TV that will play all your Steam library. That's been reported for quite a couple of weeks, and we did say that, I expected there to be a console as well as a VR headset. So I was kind of right on that one. But the bit where I was wrong, I suppose, was me assuming that Steam Frame was the VR headset. It looks like that's not the case now, that it's actually going to be the Valve Index 2. I don't know how true this is, but who knows until it's released. And honestly, I assumed that we'd have something by now. The rumours have started circling a couple of weeks ago, and it's been a few weeks now since we've had anything really whatsoever, anything concrete on any more leads, apart from, more people talking about the console itself rather than the headset. I know a lot of Steam content creators are, who talk about the tech side of things. I've said it's definitely a console. And from looks of it, when it comes down to the copyright stuff, that suggests console as well. But I mean, that can be changed from what I gather. So that's not 100% clear. Things like that generally just to make sure that the name is locked in. But obviously, we have had the rumours that there's going to be 400,000 to 600,000 headsets being made, and that's a definite reality. We talked about it in the last live stream that we did about the Steam Frame, that in my opinion, it looked like we were going to get both, like a PlayStation type thing where it was you had the console to more or less power the headset. And I kind of like that idea because I do think PlayStation has sort of gone under the radar of this headset that no one's really using. But I don't. I think it's still got time to gather up some more interest. Anyway, when it comes to Steam and the Steam Frame or the Valve Index 2, I would really like it if they stuck with the Steam naming convention, because you associate Steam with gaming rather than Valve. Yeah, and obviously they're together, but I don't associate Valve automatically with gaming, whereas with Steam you do. You've got the Steam Deck now, and I think it would work better if everything was under the Steam brand. So I think I'm quite comfortable saying that we're getting both. It's just when we're getting both. And how the headset's going to work along with the console itself. And whether you're going to need to have that headset or whether you're going to be able to use the Steam VR Link app with all the other headsets that have now got it, which would make a lot of sense and I kind of like that idea. But I mean, not all headsets have the eye tracking, so you're not going to be able to take advantage of some of the more powerful stuff that the console could technically do. It's very similar to what PlayStation have done with their eye tracking. It really makes sense to have that in and ready to go, really. So the Play for Dream headset is a perfect example of future proofing itself. But the other bit I was technically, I would say, probably wrong on, was assuming that the Steam Frame headset, the Valve Index 2, whatever we're calling it, was that I assumed that they'd have a more powerful processing chip in there. Or how Apple have done it where it's got 2 chips, which I just don't. I find it difficult that more people aren't doing it, because I do think it's a really clever way of getting more out of the processor that's doing the gaming side. To have a processor that's concentrated on all the actual components to make it run well, and then another processor to actually do the job of the gaming side. I just think that would make more sense. But from what the rumours are, and this is the bit where I'm slightly a bit worried, not worried, slightly nervous about, is the fact that it's going to have a Snapdragon chip in it, by the sounds of it. That would be disappointing, because I think Steam could have put something in very similar to what's in the Steam Deck, and maybe the Snapdragon in there for processing powers, to process the little chippies. So it's just a waiting game now, because at the end of the day, something should have been announced by now. Especially if they're not going for the Christmas thing, obviously, because it's too close to Christmas now. And at the end of the day, the console might have been a Christmas wishlist item. That might still happen. The VR headset was probably never really a Christmas thing. It was never going to be the same price as what the Quest is, because at the end of the day, like we've said loads of times, the Quest is a unrealistic price for a headset. Really. It's it's like the console type thing where they're hoping they make the money from games. And they've sort of been stuck behind that for a while now, until the Samsung headset came out, and now you possibly now, with the prices of the Play for Dream and the Samsung headset, that they might be able to, I don't really want them to do this, but raise the price up slightly, which could then lead to getting a better spec headset in the future, with eye tracking and face tracking and everything else that revolves around a bit more interaction and proper true VR in a way. But so Steam Frame, from what it looks like, we're getting both. We're getting the console with a controller and a headset with controllers. All of it I'm really happy about. In some ways, in my head, I do think potentially, did they even need to put any tech really in the headset if you're going to be using the box, the console box, to power it? Did it need all the did it need a processor in the same way? But then I suppose that's sort of proving my point. If you get it as a bundle, is that what they're technically doing? They've put the Snapdragon chip in to control all the parts, and the console to control all the heavy part of the VR setup, and then you'll be able to full on play some of the biggest games around with a set-top box that, you know, doesn't necessarily have to go onto your TV. It could just go right next to your headset and bingo. Maybe that is the clever move that they're doing. It's hey, cool VR, how's it going? It is Halloween tomorrow. Is everyone ready for some scary movies? I've got my phone ready just in case he rings. Yeah. Maybe it is the right way to... Maybe it is the right way to go about this. Sorry, I've just had like an epiphany on screen. Like, you know, the big thing I've always said about the PlayStation VR is that it's got the power of the PlayStation VR. I know a lot of people moaned about the fact that you needed the PlayStation 5 to run it because they're used to the Quest 3, but what they don't realise is if you're using a Quest 3, you're not getting the same experience as what you are with the PlayStation. I mean, if you played Gran Turismo on the VR headset, on the PlayStation VR headset, you'd know how much more you can get from that headset using the PlayStation. And it's the same if you look at the Quest 3 and you look at any racing game. And I'm gonna give you the example of Grid Legends. Awful. I don't care what the gameplay is like. When it comes to racing games, unless it looks like Mario Kart, you want it as realistic as possible. You want crisp, quality graphics. That is what you want. So you cannot. I can't play it. I bought Grid Legends, and I had one go in it, and I just thought, what is this? Why have they done it? What? And it's because you need. I mean, everyone wants a racing game in VR because actually it's one of the best ways to experience VR because you're sat down and, you know, if you suffer at all with motion sickness, playing a racing game in VR sat down with good visuals and a good frame rate, it's so good. And you can't experience that standalone on the Quest. You just can't. There's nothing out there that I think, ooh, that looks absolutely amazing. Because it doesn't. It's a mobile chip at the end of the day, and it's doing a lot of work. So maybe they're doing the right thing by just having everything out of the headset. It reduces weight. It's basically like how I envision the next Vision Pro to be. Everything's in the puck. That would be the best way to do it. I mean, you know, I honestly can't wait to see what they release. It's gotten to the point now where I'm just thinking, when is it going to be? Because it's been literally about 3 weeks since I did the last video about the Steam Frame, and we've had really nothing apart from like one or two little bits, but nothing whatsoever. Valve is close to releasing the new headset. Why do they not release the final official specs? Yeah. Valve's new VR headset is as much as a mystery as the free. It is, but they did a similar thing with the Steam Deck. There was rumours, but you didn't really know anything until the Steam Deck actually came out, and it was like, what? It's just the problem is we've known about the Deckard for a long time, and it makes it more difficult because we've known about it. So if they just dropped one without us having a clue, that'd be one, a shock, but two, insane. But we know too much, and we need to know everything. We need to know everything. So, Atlas. Steam Frame 3. Atlas. Have I missed something when it comes to Atlas? One second. I can't seem to see anything on that. Or are you meaning at last? Anyway, don't matter. Thanks for stopping by, both of you. Greatest Racehorse Secret. I'm gonna go. I'm rubbish with names. So, but yeah. I just think it'll be so good if they do. If it's they'd have to release it as a package, or at least they'd have to release it if you bought both, you get a good discount, or something like that. Whereas they're probably going to release the console where you can buy that separately. They might release the headset so you can buy it separately, but they need a bundle where you can buy both and take advantage of both. That would be insane. That would be insane. But who knows when it's happening? Who honestly? Atlas a Comet. Sure. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. I think we've got about 2 more weeks of waiting. I think if we haven't had anything in by... When did the Steam Deck get announced? Steam Frame announcement date. Oh, okay. So the original Steam Deck was announced on July 15th, and then the Steam Deck OLED was announced on November the 9th. 9th of November. (2023). 9th of November 2023 was a Thursday. So 2025 November, the second week in November would be the 14th. So if we haven't heard anything by the 14th, I don't think we're hearing anything until after Christmas. So possibly the 7th though. No, sorry, not the 14th. Either the I'll go again. Either the 6th or the 13th, I think, will be the day it gets announced. The 13th. I'm going with the 6th, which is a week today. So it would be a little bit early. So it's either the 6th or the 13th. What are you thinking? What guys, what are you thinking? The 6th or the 13th? It's either that or the 19th, because I can guarantee everything seems to happen on November the 19th. I have no idea why. I don't know what's important about that, apart from the fact that it's my wife's birthday, and I can guarantee that's generally where everything happens. Changed my mind about Valve using the resolution 2626 hits and using 2058. That would be impressive. Believe it has DisplayPort and wireless. I don't. Everyone wants DisplayPort, and I totally get it. But I don't think it's gonna have a DisplayPort. I'm throwing it out there right now. I don't think it'll have a DisplayPort. It's had sick. Got to be before Thanksgiving, Black Friday. I completely agree. When is Black Friday? '28th of November. Yeah, it's definitely got to be before then. It will. I think it's going to be the 6th or the 13th. Yeah, I mean, wireless is, and I think the advantage is wireless is probably fast enough. If the console has it built in that connects automatically between the two, whereas you don't need to worry about an issue with Wi-Fi, disconnect or anything like that. I mean, most people have got really good Wi-Fi anyway. If you're gaming, you've got a good Wi-Fi connection. Like your router's good, or router, however you want to say it. So, but if you can take away any pain points, if you can use the console to connect to the headset and everything goes through those two things rather than messing about, I think it'll be insane. So good. Watch they'll release the spec this week after we chat. I'm all for it. I'll be back on as soon as they do. If it's released on the 6th, start to expect things to be slowly leaking. Early next week, maybe even tomorrow. We've just got to wait and see. If it's not the 6th, then even if it's the 13th, then we probably won't see anything until a week tomorrow or the Monday after that. I can't wait. The meta update is cool. Yeah, it's choose my words carefully. It looks very much like another VR headset operating system that they may have taken inspiration from. I think Valve is ready to fill the vacuum created by Xbox. Yeah, probably is. I mean, that would be a nail in Xbox coffin, wouldn't it? If they've already basically sealed it themselves. But yeah, I mean, they announce a console in the next week or so, and Xbox are still having all these problems. We might see a drop in the price of Game Pass. Black Friday announcement. Yeah, you get a year's Game Pass for so much. Yeah. Ooh. I mean, I have an Xbox. I have a PlayStation. I have no alliance to either. We grew up playing PlayStation. Xbox wasn't a thing until I probably stopped. I stopped for a bit of gaming around about 2003-ish, to about 2007 because we had kids and stuff like that, and everything's got in the way. So I missed the Xbox PlayStation 3 battle, really. But yeah, Xbox is. I mean, the only advantage Xbox has got at the moment is they've bought a lot of gaming companies, a lot of them, and a lot of the big ones. The advantage they've got. Oh yeah, this is the advantage that Valve got. They've already got an absolute ton of VR games already, and if they decide to develop a few games, even just one big game, like like Half-Life Alyx 2, for example, they're they've they're in such a good place for PC VR anyway, and maybe it's time that people start experiencing VR in a completely new way, like actually understanding that you can have amazing visuals, and I don't think all games need it, but I mean, Gorilla Tag, I better not say too much. It does wind me up. Like, I feel bad for saying it because it is a good game. I don't have a problem. No, I don't have a problem with Gorilla Tag. What I have a problem with is all the clones that have been released and all the ones that have tried to copy off it. It was unique. It's a bit similar to what Minecraft. There were a lot of games that came out after Minecraft that were trying to copy Minecraft. The only problem I've ever had with Gorilla Tag is I can't bloody play it. I'm useless at it. See, again, Animal Company, they're doing something different, slightly. But can you imagine the visuals that you could get? Yeah, like I said, not all games need to be visual. I need to stop getting into this. Mario and Sonic and all those types of games were my biggest games that I loved growing up. And yes, like Gran Turismo, when that came out, when I started playing Tomb Raider, when that came out, they changed how I wanted to play games, but there's still that love for those games, those characters, the Marios, the even the Wii, like such a good visuals or graphics as good as PS3 Crysis, is that? Yeah. For VR was good enough. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Just let's I can't wait. It's got to happen soon. Like I say, if we start getting more leaks ramping up, like say tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, expect something on Thursday. If not, I think we'll be waiting another week. But it's going to happen sooner or later. It's going to have to happen sooner or later. Definitely. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it for turning up. Cool VR, you're awesome. Turn up every day, and thank you very much for the greatest racehorse, because it's been really interesting chatting. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you in Metal Gear Solid. Oh, don't get me started. Metal Gear Solid, such a good game. I see. I played Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. I didn't play 3 and 4. Then I played 5, and I've been meaning to go back and play the others, but I haven't done. Such a clever game. that first game where you like, you start knocking on the box to make it so clever. Like really, Metal Gear, what a game. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one.